Good night, everybody. You all welcome here. So, before we start, we want to make a wish, pray that may Jesus be with us, that He inspire me on my words, and that He inspire you guys on what I'm going to say, which are not my ideas, are not my suggestions, are not my. I'm just trying to share what I read and what I want to share with you guys. So so may Jesus be with us, may Jesus be with you guys, and may be the good spirits bless us all today, so that we can have this renewal on our planning for the week, on our strength for the challenges ahead. So today we are just inaugurating the screen, trying to make it more, enjoyable for you guys, and to me, as easy to follow what is in there. It was made in a rush because we're still on the learning process. We're still trying to do our best. So it's going to improve. And always the lesson is, once you want to do something, don't worry if it's not perfect. Keep doing, right? Many times we got disencouraged to do some stuff because we say, oh, it's still not perfect. I'm not going to do that. So let's do it. Let's make mistakes. Let's wait for the other to understand that we are on this trying to do our best, and we can always help. So today is chapter 11. And it says, love your neighbor as yourself. And today we're going to talk, I think, one of the hardest subjects. Since the very beginning, we are being taught how to love. Since Moses got the 10 Commandments, there was the principle of guiding love, trying to make the humankind to have some guidance to love one another. So they were basically saying, don't kill, don't steal, don't make perjury, and all the stuff. And since then, 3,000 years ago, came then Jesus trying to show us love. And for 2,000 years, we are carrying His teaching, and we couldn't do much. We did a lot, we accomplished a lot, but there is still a lot to go. So the two first commandments, we have to understand at the time the Pharisees went to Jesus and saying, what are the main commandments? Because there was so many laws to be followed. There was the 10 Commandments, there was Moses with over 600 laws to be followed, and they want to ask Jesus, what is the main commandments? And the one that is said is to love God with all your heart, with all your soul, and which means basically love everything, because everything comes from God. So everything is deserve your love. And how do you love an animal? On the respect you have to them. How do you love the nature? By preserving the nature, by using wisely the resources from the nature. So this is the wide understanding of God, is in all His expression, that we go there and we love, we understand, we preserve, we respect. And the big challenge is to love the other, right? So here we say the great commandment, do unto other as you would have them to do unto us. I got this English version that I found after I copy and paste here. It was too much into formal English. So they say, so the great commandments was basically what Jesus said was true. The first that I said was love God, and the second is to love your neighbor as yourself. And relationship is what makes we grow. We don't grow going to an island. We don't grow going to top of a mountain and being in meditation and don't have anyone to have the challenges, especially. And we talk about reincarnation in this chapter, and we have challenge with people that we stay with. So the commandment that Jesus said, you're as important as love God is to love your neighbor. And the first thing is, what is the definition of neighbor? How close the neighbor is? Is the neighbor those who think just like you, have the same religion, who lives on the same neighborhood, who follow the same soccer team, or who is that? Is only the friends that you like and agree with your opinion? Who is that? So the message of Jesus is saying we should spread that neighbor. We should not only spread that neighbor, but we should seek for those who has a different opinion than us. Because in diversity, we grow. If we only know how to do and how to do one way, we forgot how to do all the other ways. We forgot how a determined culture brings so much wisdom on the things they do. So his teaching was, make sure your neighbors, you spread that. You make it more and more people. And what would be the one guideline so that we would love the neighbor? Is we look at ourselves and we see, what would I like that they do with me so that I do to them? So a good guideline is, if you say, if you always put yourself on the other person's shoes, you're going to have a very clear idea if we are doing what's right. And because we are always being from a background of being very egoic, it's very selfish, we know very much what is good to us. So we already have a very good way to say, how should be the best way to have this situation handled? And if you say, how do I want that to be done with me? And we go and mirror that to the neighbor. And you say, how would you like to be treated? As simple as, and we normally live with neighbors, real neighbors, and we know that the way we expect them to treat us is the way you're going to treat them. And that is a very simple way of thinking, and also a very efficient way of thinking. And in later on the chapter, they mention about this law of love also includes the reincarnation, so you can understand in different positions. Because now we can decide, when we do an action, can we place ourselves on the other people's shoes? If we can't, reincarnation put us on other people's situations as us, but living that situation that we didn't elaborate the best way at that time. So many times, if you don't learn by saying, well, I don't want that to be done with me, and you don't understand that, and you don't learn that, and always the options are love. Always love is the first option so we can learn. When love doesn't work is when start the pain. So we have to understand that when we are going through a difficult time and we say, oh my God, what God is that's providing me with pain? We can be sure that He attempted many other ways before sending the pain. If they are sending the pain, is because there is no other better or more efficient way to handle the situation. And again, if we don't use this, see our neighbor in the view of ourselves, in our we put ourselves in their shoes, reincarnation will do that. Reincarnation will bring people to experience that they say, well, I'm very intolerant. I don't like this X race, or I don't like that group, or I don't like that behavior. And in many instances in your life, you're going to be invited to accept the difference. But maybe you're completely out of being open-hearted to the neighbors, to whoever is close to you. Then life brings you to live exactly that experience. And then you can grow in a way that you say, oh my God, I didn't accept that point of view. Now I'm bringing exactly to live as that point of view. And it doesn't work 100%. And by the way, the level of efficient in this process needs time. It was very easy if we go through a challenge and next life they put us exactly on the other side and we say, okay, I just need one reincarnation to calibrate myself. When I did bad to this kind of people, I was born like them, and then it's all fixed. It doesn't work like that, because the same heart that didn't accept the difference on the other life, they still don't accept the difference. So the point is not being blue, white, or yellow. Is whoever is different, I don't accept. And they put, okay, I'm putting you as a yellow now. Let's see if you like the yellows, you like the blues, you like every color. And you say, no, I still don't like difference. And then the time to make you realize that takes much longer. And always love is the first choice to make it happen to you. But if we don't go, what happens? It's the pain, and nobody wants to do that. And now we have this amazing opportunity to have neighbors, people close to us, people who had give us challenge to our life. So if we have those people who give challenge to our life, this is the opportunity. This is not that person. It's not John or Mary who is causing that. It's something on you that doesn't accept that action or that. So it's a great love from the divine to put you in a situation that you see, realize, no, now I see that there is kind of, I have to accept that person. It's hard to me. But what is the goal? Is that you know what is that you're feeling. Be honest with your feeling. You're feeling impatient, you're feeling hate, you're feeling, what are you feeling? Work on that feeling so that you minimize that. So even if you still feel that, if you still feel that that neighbor, because of his color of his skin, you tend to lose your temper, start to change it, start to send love in a way that say, you know what, I will pray for him, even if I'm still in the construction of having a better feeling. So if you do the action and make that a habit, eventually that feeling will start to resonate. And that's the great invitation when we have the neighbors and the people close to us and difficult parents, difficult people at work. These are all challenges that we have to accept, and we have to take this advantage. So let's see what's the next thing. So here has some instruction from the spirits. So they're saying through spiritual progress, instincts became sentiments, which are more or less elevated. So before, on the cave, the man needed to have protection. So he saw that him alone was harder. So he said, well, let's make a group and let's make people together. So it started that instinct of protection to make families, to make a group. And so as we evolve, that instinct became a sentiment, a feeling. And it started at this point men only had instinct of survive, instinct of reproduction, instinct. After some advancement and on the onset of corruption, he has sensation. So the next degree is sensation. Oh, it's pleasurable. It is okay, and then, but it still is not the feelings, the sentiment. But when it becomes instructed and more purified, he has sentiments. The most delicate apex of sentiment is love. So we as a human being, we are evolving instincts, and then we start to have sensation. Then we finally have the feelings. And the top of this chain of evolution is love. And love still needs to be worked out. Because love cannot be wanting my son, my wife, my. No, there's no mine. Everyone is being a while with us for some time for learning process. From us to learn, from them to learn. So the process of saying my son, my wife, my friend, no. It's people along the way with all their limitation, as we also limited, that we want to one another. If we love, we look to a friend and we might say, hey, I notice this situation. And is there a way I can help? And along the way, they say about this way to talk to people and notes what they have to improve. And it is invited to be on a very loving way. There is a way to tell someone that he's making a mistake, and there is a way that you lovingly sharing what your point of view with all respect and say, hey, I see that you are maybe drinking too much. A good friend would say, hey, we have good times drinking, but there is a limit. And if one friend can keep that limit and understand their limit and understand what it might cause as a problem, he, as a friend, a good friend, would say, hey, I noticed that you go over the limit. Can we sit down and talk about that? Many times friends feel that, oh, we're having a good time. I'm not going as a friend to do that. But, if you don't do that, he might hear from someone else who might not like him and might say, hey, you are a drunk man. And the guy said, you're offending me. None of my friends says that. And, I don't see myself out of balance. And it's very hard to us when we see ourselves to really look inside of us and say, yeah, I'm going over the limit. So that's why is the neighbor again, in a loving way, is when you look at friends and say, what can I help you in order that you improve? So they're saying here's this increasing in perception of instinct, sentiment, sensation, and sentiment, and love is when they invite the love to be in our life. How can we really love? How can we love a friend? How can we love someone that is serving us at a supermarket? How can we love someone? And they say about this in here. How can we love someone who is making a big mistake? Someone may be committing a big mistake. We might see on newspaper, we might hear somewhere. How can we contribute with our love so that the level of challenge to that person or to that group of person, how can we make that minimize? We can minimize that with our love, with our prayer, with our or sending the good blessing for them. If we cannot do anything else, if we see something on TV that asking for donation, we say, well, I already donate, I already do that. It's hard for me. Say a pray. If we could know the benefits of a pray, we'll be doing that so often. And there is no limit for that. Okay? So, and here say the law of love substitutes the selfishness of men with the